Leaders are readers. Michael McLean, badassbrotherhood.com on a gorgeous morning just south of Jeb's Creek. Gorgeous morning heading out for my 15,000 steps down to the point and back. 75 minutes. Nature, sunshine, fresh air, solitude, time to think, time to work on solutions, time with my creator, best time of the day, my first thing, early morning power walk. I was gifted this book by my friend Jeff Dean, my neighbor around the corner. The Secrets of Success. The Secrets of Success is not a secret. Stories of famous people who persevered. So these are tiny, short stories of famous people that you and I know who persevered through massive adversity, frustration, poverty, seemingly unsurmountable odds to become successful and build their own badass worlds. That's what they did. They built worlds that they had always dreamed of, and they built worlds that they never have to escape from and never have to vacation from. They built their own badass worlds. So my daughter Emery, who's 9 years old, we have been reading, Krista, my wife Krista and I have been reading to Emery since the day she was born. Every night before bed, we have dedicated ourselves to the concept of the Read Aloud Handbook. By the way, there's another book. If you have small children, grandchildren, you need to order a physical copy of that book. It is so important that I actually gifted all of my consulting clients back in the day, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, with a copy of it. It's called the Read Aloud Handbook. And my God, there's been hundreds of thousands of copies sold. But that book is about one main concept, and the concept is the critical importance of reading aloud every single day, 365 days per year, to our children. And I'm talking from the time they're born right up into their teen years. And there's something about reading aloud, not just them reading, but you reading aloud with them, mom and dad, every single night, whether it's 20 minutes or half an hour, but reading aloud every single night, no days off, that triggers a voracious appetite for learning and reading in the child. And that's it, right? If we can instill in our children and grandchildren an appetite for learning, I'm convinced that the rest will take care of itself. I'm convinced that any child can read themselves out of any environment. I'm convinced that any child can read themselves out of any negative circumstances. That's the power of books. If there's any chance whatsoever for some children, I believe it's found in books. I believe it's found in a voracious appetite for reading, and I believe it is found in instilling an appetite for learning that simply can't be quenched, an absolute thirst for knowledge. So Emery and I and Krista, we've been reading aloud since she was born, before she was born actually. And sometimes it's 20 minutes, sometimes it's 45 minutes, but 7 days a week, every day. We never miss. And consequently, Emery is a reader. She is a leader and she is a reader. And she starts her day reading books downstairs at 5:30 in the morning. She reads when she's in the car. She reads when she's in the truck. She's constantly growing and reading, and it's just been such a massive part of developing her as a person. So we've instilled that appetite, that thirst for knowledge, and now we just have to continue with that. But one of the books here that my friend Jeff Dean gave me is, he said, Michael, start reading these tiny, short little stories about these badass, well, these are icons in success. You know, everybody from Muhammad Ali to Al Pacino to J.K. Rowling, Michael Jordan, Oprah. I mean, it just goes on and on about their level of perseverance. So we've been reading these every single night for the last week. So we have our normal book, which we read for 20 minutes, half an hour, but it literally, I can read in 5 minutes one of these stories. And your kids and your grandkids will love them because they're stories. What do people love? They love stories. What do children love? They love stories. And we're programmed to remember stories, which is really important. Like, not only are you reading these to your children or reading these to your grandchildren, but because they're stories, they remember it. They remember the story about Michael Jordan. They remember the story about Albert Einstein. They remember the story, you know, of Christopher Columbus. Stories, stories, stories. Go to town on the stories. And this book goes to town on the stories. So I just wanted to share our experience over the last 7 days, 7 nights. So I allow Emery to pick out one of the success stories. They're about a page or two long, and we read it. So it's been phenomenal. She loves it. And then we talk about it at the dinner table. We talk about it on the ride to school. And, you know, she's learning about these people, but it's all about badass perseverance, which I just love. Like, it's all about perseverance. So I want to share one of the stories in this book. It was the first one we read, and it was the story of the badass billion-dollar author J.K. Rowling. And she's one of my favorite badass entrepreneurs because of the immense struggle that she went through to arrive as the wealthiest billion-dollar, first in history, billion-dollar author. And it's an incredible story. She was well into her adult years, and she always wanted to be an author. She always wanted to be a writer. So she had all of these adult novels that she had written, and none of them went anywhere. She didn't complete any of them. She was so broke that she didn't even own a word processor. She didn't own a computer. She didn't own a typewriter. I mean, this is going back in the day. So she would write these novels out by hand on paper and pen, but they didn't go anywhere. So none of her adult novels were ever, you know, sent to a publisher. They went nowhere. And one day when she was waiting for the train was delayed, an idea came to her about writing a special children's book, just out of the blue. Her intuition, her golden gut, her creator, whatever you want to call it, gave her this aha moment of, you know, what about a child's book? So once again, no computer, no word processor, just pen and paper. She literally sat down over the next several weeks, months, maybe it was a couple of years, I'm not sure the timeline. And she sat down and she wrote the first Harry Potter novel. Out of the blue. And when she was done it, she hired an agent. So talk about belief. I mean, here she is writing a children's book. She's got no past history of success. Her adult novels were never even saw the light of day. And so her agent, who she had to hire, sent the manuscript, the transcript of the first Harry Potter novel to 12 different publishers. 12 different publishers. And the transcript was declined. It was turned down. It was rejected by all 12 publishers. Can you imagine being those guys? 12 publishers, 12 rejection letters. So finally, her agent kept scrambling around, and they kind of worked out a deal with this other publisher, 13th publisher, and he kind of reluctantly took on the book because I believe the story went, his daughter was, interested in the story of this boy wizard, which was Harry Potter. So it was kind of a favor, wink, wink. This isn't going anywhere, but to get this crazy agent and author off my back, we'll take this. So they gave her an advance of $3,000. That's it, that's all. $3,000 for the first Harry Potter book. And it was interesting because, as you know, the rest is history. She actually started, it didn't explode immediately. And she used the money, plus she got a grant from the Scottish government. And she used this money to secure, she was so broke and she was so desperate that she used the money, to live, to stay alive. And she bought a computer. So she started working on the second Harry Potter book when this first book was out, and there wasn't any success yet. So she had that belief, she had that vision, she had that, golden gut that she started working on the second Harry Potter book immediately. And she bought a computer to do it the second time. She didn't have to write it out by hand. And the first book, of course, exploded in popularity. They changed the name, they tweaked the name, and it was printed, all said and done, in 600 different countries and languages. And Rowling became the first, over 1 billion, Forbes magazine, and this is going back, way back, it was over $1 billion in book sales for the first time in history. It's the first child's book that ever sold over $1 billion, and it's way past that now. After she was told by her agent, that there was no money in children's books. So also, the Harry Potter series has made J.K. Rowling not only, world famous, but it's also made her the second richest female entertainer in the world. That was as of a couple of years ago. And the only female entertainer on the list ahead of her is Oprah Winfrey. So she's in pretty high badass company when it comes to net worth. So that's the story that Emery and I read the other night. And I gotta tell you, I can't emphasize enough, if you have children, even that, teenagers, young adults, and you're looking for a birthday present or you're looking for whatever it is, this is so easy and simple. I'm used to reading, long chapters and studying for 3 and 4 and 5 hours a day, but this here is just boom, 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 boom. It's just one success secret after the other. And I love the title, Success is Not a Secret. And we've read about Lucille Ball, Steven Spielberg. Last night we read about Einstein, Albert Einstein. I'll share that story a little bit later. But man, oh man, get a copy of this book. And it's by Darcy Andrews. Darcy Andrews, The Secret of Success is Not a Secret of Success. And once again, thank you to my friend, Jeff Dean, who actually gave us this book after our fishing the other day. So there's something, the Read Aloud Handbook and this book here, what a deadly combination every night when you're reading to your children or your grandchildren to inspire and to motivate that love of learning. The rest, trust me, will take care of itself, but that needs to be implemented and encouraged every single day. That's it. Speaking about, talk about secrets that are not a success, talk about building a world that you don't need to ever vacation from, or a world that you never need to escape from. I have a brand new Michael McLean world building newsletter. It's a 12-page paper and ink newsletter that I'm launching in August, so in a few weeks. And if you would like to subscribe to it, you need to get off now and and subscribe at badassletter.com. Badassletter.com. Hello, sweetheart. Hip hip. Do you like this book? Emery, do you like this book? The Secrets of Success? Do you remember who the two people that we have were reading? Who are the people that we've been reading? Albert Einstein, Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling. And what about Einstein? Einstein wasn't able to read till what age?
7,
And he could not speak until he was 3, Albert Einstein. So you're going to love this book. My newsletter is it's the toughest advice for the toughest businessmen. It's all my teachings and learnings about the marriage, marketing, fitness, health, you name it. And I put all the best of the best into the newsletter each and every month. I FedEx it to your home or office. It's expensive on purpose. It's a $97 per month investment. Actually, if you find that expensive, you're in the wrong league and you're on the wrong list, because that is a simple investment in your business, your marketing, your marriage, your children, your physical health, your mental health, your community service. So I've been working on the newsletter for the last several days, and I can't wait to launch it coming up next month. So if you want to be part of the tribe, make sure you go to badassletter.com. I will send you as a free bonus, if you sign up today, one of these badass black workout training shirts. It says Be Relentless on the back. They're about $60. I've got 200 of them. And when they're gone, they're gone. I'll also send you a copy of my old book, my old insurance book. It's a 100-page physical book, How to Not Get Your Ass Kicked in the Insurance Business. It applies to any business. It's the blueprint I used in hockey, the barbershop franchise, my window washing company. I've used it in the restaurant business. I've used it in the coaching and consulting business. So my newsletter isn't everybody's cup of Jack Daniels, but it's for champions, not chumps. It's for contenders, not pretenders. And it's for lions, not poodles. So if you fit into those categories, sign up below at badassletter.com. That's it for today. 2 words that change my life. 2 words that can change your life. Be relentless.